There was a certain uniqueness that is kind of necessary for game. Just like you were saying this, and I think Casey was saying this too. There's an obsession, like Casey was saying, about how guys really want to be Andrew Tate. There's a lack of originality. Mystery is undeniably original. There are people who aspire to be other people. There are people who want to be just like Andrew Tate, Dan Bilzerian, or I don't know, some kind of celebrity, James Bond, let's say, fictional character, but they want to see an image and be just like that. And I can't blame anyone for that. However, the game with your own uniqueness is what should be the priority because just like you were saying, there are guys who are so obsessed with trying to become top 1%. Not everyone can become top 1%, but everyone has different things about them. So me personally, I'm extremely highly intelligent. So that's a unique thing about me. I like certain things. I mentioned before I get my Viking arm ring. I like the TV show Vikings. All of these things. I don't make my entire personality about Ragnar Lothbrok, but that's one tiny bit of inspiration I can bring in rather than obsessing over, hello everyone, I'm Ragnar, or shit like that. Or you want to shave your head, you want to wear shades and shout on camera and be Andrew Tate. You need your own originality. And that's the kind of thing that we can't necessarily give clear advice on because it's not blanket advice. We can't say to every person watching, you like this thing. We don't know what every specific person's uniqueness is. The hard part is that they have to find it, discover it themselves, and they can only do that by discovering themselves in whatever way that is. And there's no practical advice for that other than experience as many things as you want to experience. It's not practical advice, but that's the most practical it can get. And just like on the interview with Mystery, originally I was asking about how a lot of guys see Mystery's magic and they therefore think Mystery's gonna Mystery's gimmick is magic. Everyone's gimmick has to be magic. Or, let's not call it a gimmick. It's a truly interesting tool to have. There are other tools, for lack of a better word, that can be very useful and complementary to your game, whatever that may be. But I can't predict it's magic for you, it's magic for everyone. I don't know what it is for you watching or for you who you're talking to me. That has to be discovered by oneself, I suppose.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. I think you're 100% on with that. I was told by my cousin when I was in junior high, my cousin was about 5 or 6 years older than me, and he did pretty well for himself, right? In the small little suburban town that he grew up in. And he always said to me, look at the other guys that have girls and take note of what they do. Take note of the way they walk, the way they talk. You want to incorporate their behaviors into your game, if you will. He maybe didn't use this exact terminology back then, but he said you don't want to be a cookie cutter version of them either. You have to have a little bit of uniqueness about you. So similar to what you're saying, man, I've gathered inspiration from Ragnar Lothbrok. I've gathered inspiration from Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've gathered inspiration from Kurt Cobain. I've gathered inspiration from Jason Momoa, Brad Pitt. I've gathered some inspiration from Justin Bobby from the show The Hills, right? Popular show back in the day. I've gathered inspiration from friends of mine. Some of my friends in high school were super popular, you know, the jocks, the preps, and so forth. But I had friends of all different social stereotypes, and there were dudes that were in the more alternative circles as well that did well for themselves too. You know, I hate saying that what's the best style of game. Personally, I have found the best results when I'm somewhere in between mainstream and alternative. You look at me with one side of your brain and I'm a mainstream dude. You use the other side of your brain and I'm this more alternative, artistic type of guy, right? I'm kind of right smack dab in the middle by design, and I'm also just kind of naturally this way. I just find that I enjoy life better uh, this way, and it seems to
Mhm.
attract the women that are most compatible with me. I'm not going to say the best women. I'm not going to say the most women, although I've gotten, you know, uh, I've had quite a few options in my day. We'll say that with this style of game. So um, every guy has to decide where he wants to be on the mainstream alternative spectrum. Some guys are super alternative, some are super mainstream. You have to learn the underlying concepts of game and insert your personality into it. I'm very much about customizing game for guys too. This is not, I'm going to tell you what I do, so therefore you should do it. I'm not going to say this is what all women want according to the science, therefore you should do it. It's who are you? What do you want? What kind of results do you want? Who do you want to be? Let's craft something within that template, right?